Cam. We always talk about tactics. We talk about tactics all the time. We talk about the good tactics. We talk about bad tactics. But today, not tactics, was it?
No, I think until maybe 3-0,
Yeah.
you can look at the tactics and what's gone wrong to get to that point. But after that, it's a point that no Man United team should ever get to, ever, where everyone's just giving up on the pitch, not tracking back, putting half-hearted tackles in. The number of FIFA goals in that game is ridiculous, just bouncing off 4 or 5 players. That can happen once a game. It can happen maybe twice a game if you're really unlucky. But if it happens 4 or 5 times, and it's happening pretty much every phase of play outside of maybe it doesn't end in goal, but balls bouncing off everywhere, it's because players aren't putting the effort in. They're not putting themselves into the duels. They're bottling it every single time. And you do that in all your duels all over the pitch, this sort of thing's going to happen.
And there's going to be lots of angry reaction here. Sometimes, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm just envisaging overreaction and stuff. What is the correct reaction here? How should we be feeling? How should we analyse this? Is it a case of quickly put this to bed and move along? You know, the smirking scousers there, I can see them. They're grilling Gary Neville here. I don't even know what they're saying. But look, they're all giving it. You know, the fact is we're still third in the Premier League. We're above Liverpool. We look like we've got top 4 there. You know, we're fighting on all fronts, different fronts for different cups. But that was unacceptable and a disgusting performance, one that will live in history. How do you move on from it is what my question is, I suppose.
Look, I think what we've got to be conscious of is that this sort of thing can happen with the system. With the way we're playing at the moment, as we've said on lots of the tactical views, Erik ten Hag sets us up to be really transitional, have lots of duels going on the pitch, lots of 1v1 battles. And if players are off it against opponents who are good and they're on it, if 5 or 6 players lose their 1v1 battles, you're going to get torn apart. And if other players are off it as well, if the player loses their battle, someone else won't be sharp enough to cover. And we saw that time and time again, where one player doesn't win their challenge and there's no one there to cover, no one sharp enough, switched on enough to react. The first goal was a really good example. Ten Hag often talks about his rules and principles. We know the wingers sort of have a hybrid pressing thing where they'll sometimes stay on the fullback, sometimes they'll go and press the centre-back. When they go on the centre-back, it's often our fullback that presses up on the opposition fullback. So you see, Dalot got drawn out to Robertson. Nobody else reacted. Fred, I don't know what Fred's doing. He's half-tracked Gakpo, then he suddenly decides to run wide, leaving a massive gap for that ball to come inside and split him. Varane's not really reacted sharp enough. He could have reacted a little bit quicker. But even when Robertson cut in initially, if Weghorst's a natural midfield player, maybe he sort of switches off from his man orientation for a second and just drops in to fill that space. There's so many individual things that have gone wrong, and when you have a system that is so dependent on individual battles, this sort of thing can and will happen. It's not a case of we're defending space, so there'll be enough numbers that even if things do go a little bit wrong, we might be able to get someone in the way. There's so many 1v1 battles that there is nowhere to hide. And these players found that out today. After 3-0, they found that out big time because it was getting ugly.
They checked out. I know, you know, the way you are is you look at why something happened and break it down, and that's brilliant. But how are you feeling as a fan today? Like as Cam, because because what you do here is great, and you look at the methodical way of breaking it down. But actually, just as a fan, how are you feeling about that? Are you feeling comfortable at the fact that we've got Erik ten Hag, so that's good, so we can move forward and get out of this as quickly as possible? Or are you feeling shades of last year? Like, how is Cam, the man, feeling?
Yeah, it's not sunk in yet, I'll be honest. It's 7. You just don't see that. It doesn't happen. And 6 of them in one half as well. 6 goals in 45 minutes.
It's 1-0 at half time. We speak about how we come back, get back into games, concede straight away. So yeah, how you feeling?
I don't even know how to process it. That's the thing. I really don't. I think it's been coming for a while now because we've started games. We've played the first half really badly quite a few times recently, and because we haven't come up against opponents with the individual quality that Liverpool have, maybe we've not been exposed as much as we were today. But I don't even know.
See this coming like to this level. I know we always said, we've been saying we're going to lose sometime, you know, and we're going to get tired in the game. We don't know when it's going to be, but there will be another blip. We all knew that. We're playing so many games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, for the first 40 minutes, I thought we were probably the better team. We're doing all right. They get a goal a little bit against the run of play when it came. And then after half time, you just need to show a bit of character. And these guys, there's a lot of players who folded at Anfield in previous years, and stuff like this has happened. And you know, maybe for Ten Hag, he's got to rethink some things and get some new players in, because there's people in there that probably don't deserve to be playing because they don't have the bottle to do it.
And that's another thing we've been talking about, you know, the leaders that we've got, because we can't act like we weren't confident going into this. This is why it's so embarrassing, to be honest, because we were, you know, I predicted a tight 1-0 win. Some people 3-1. You know, Liverpool were the underdogs in this game, according to many, according to a lot of Man United fans. And to see the leaders that we've spoken so highly of, Martinez spun inside out today, shocking. Varane looked like the Varane of last year. I love him. He's my favourite, but flippity flap, didn't know where he was, not winning tackles. Casemiro today, lost. And I'm only just speaking, Bruno's a leader. You know, he's our captain. Luke Shaw been unbelievable for so long. That's 5 of our best players. You know, Rashi's, and you know, he has that chance. But, you know, if we're talking about where the real meat of it is, those leaders that I just spoke about, you know, Martinez, Varane, Casemiro, Bruno, Luke Shaw. Those are your dependable guys. When you have 5 of them doing that today, of course we got no chance. I'm not just digging only them out, but only because we regard them in such a high level.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know whether it's maybe I'm being too generous to them here in terms of we play a really energy intensive style of football. It's very dual based, and a lot of those guys haven't had a lot of rest in recent weeks. And maybe you can look to Ten Hag for that. Maybe there should have been a bit more rotation. Maybe we should have changed some players for this game. But you don't see players like that putting in performances like this. Even if Martinez isn't fully fit, even if he's not at 100%,
exactly,
he's getting the way he got spun is. It's embarrassing. It is pathetic. I think you saw today we've got nothing in the middle. When we're under pressure, Fred and Casemiro. Look, Casemiro, for all his qualities, is not great on the ball, not great under pressure. Fred, we know it's the same, and we didn't react. We didn't. So many times we were just causing our own mistakes, causing our own issues, playing short, trying to bait the press, and then once we baited the press, not exploiting the space in behind. And it was just wave after wave after wave, and it's getting to the point where where do you even go with it? I don't know. There's that many key players playing that poorly. It's really horrific.
Got to bounce back.
We have to. I think we'll break down the tactics later on, but there's so much going wrong, and when we play the way we do, sometimes things like this will happen, and there is nowhere for anybody to hide. There's going to be all sorts of analysis coming in from all angles of little bits that people might have got wrong or might not have got wrong. There's going to be a lot of negative reaction, but we've just got to trust in Ten Hag that he gets us going again and gets the team back in the right place. Because, to be honest, I think a defeat's been coming for a while because we've not been at our best. I don't think we've put in a full 90-minute performance for a long time now. And with the amount of games that we've got going on, Ten Hag, to be fair, has not complained about it. But there's a lot of players playing a lot of minutes. And if you're 10% off it against players like Liverpool have got, they will ruthlessly expose you. Every weakness we had today got ruthlessly exposed time and time and time again. It's terrible.